here we have a scale figure of Hajime from Danganronpa 2. And Hajime is awesome. He has a very relatable circumstance. The ways in which he feels inadequate compared to the people around him is very relatable, which is very depressing, but I said it with a happy tone, so it's not depressing. Hello, so I have a very different kind of video today, but I was watching other people do very similar videos to this, so I thought it'd be fun to try doing it myself. It also gave me an excuse to talk about something I don't normally talk about on the channel, which is anime, which is one of my favorite things ever. I know this is a channel mostly about, Western cartoons. Whenever I have made anime content, it just hasn't done that well, so I don't really do it that much. Like, it's more worth my time to make videos about Learning with Pibby and stuff that I know people will watch, but anime is something that I have been like very, very in love with for almost 10 years. I'm 22 now. I started liking it when I was like 13 or 14. And this past weekend, I went to Anime Boston, which is a pretty big anime convention, and it was technically the first convention I've ever been to. I've been to PAX East 5 or 6 times. I think 6 times. I need to just count my tickets. I haven't done that. I keep forgetting how many I've been to. Now that I've been to Anime Boston, I can understand the Anime Boston is much more what a convention is. PAX is more of an event. PAX, you play demos for brand new games, and there's, tons of press people walking around. It's a huge, exciting advertisement. But Anime Boston is something much smaller that's like a celebration of a very specific niche art form. So it was just super nice to be there and see, people selling stuff, of course, but selling stuff that I've never seen before and could probably not get easily anywhere else. And just seeing tons of other awesome fans. I took a lot of pictures of other people in cosplay. I was dressed as Shuichi Saihara from Danganronpa V3, and the Danganronpa series is my favorite thing ever, which I'm sure a lot of subscribers don't know because I never have an excuse to talk about it. I talk about it a lot on my TikTok. That franchise is my favorite thing ever. And this was my first time dressing up, kind of. I dressed up as him at PAX East as well, and that was awesome. But I was recognized by maybe 3 people, whereas at Anime Boston, I had at least 4 people who wanted to take pictures of me, and then just lots of people who said oh, nice Shuichi, and I was like, oh, people know what I am? That's amazing. But anyways, as you do at conventions, I bought an unreasonable amount of stuff. A lot of stuff that, some of my subscribers might not even know what any of it is from. But I thought it'd be fun to show it off, and it, give me an excuse to talk about some of the franchises I like outside of the things I've been able to talk about on YouTube. Also, apologies, my fan is on, and I have you're gonna be like, what? I have a dead cat on my microphone, which is what they call the big fuzzy thing you put on a microphone to make it so that it cuts out wind. So hopefully the fan doesn't sound too bad. Anyways, we can start with what I was just talking about. I have 3 prints from Artist Alley here, which that's another thing about Anime Boston that was incredible to me. Was the very validating experience. Also, I apologize if I keep looking to the side where my preview panel is. But that's something that was very validating about Anime Boston to me, was that there was an Artist Alley. Because obviously I've been on the internet for a long time and I follow a lot of artists, and all I ever hear is oh, I'm going to be at the Artist Alley here. Or, oh, this Artist Alley was so cool at this convention. And my whole life I've just been sitting here not ever experiencing one of those. So it was super, super cool to actually go to one. So here, also another apology. I don't know the names of the people I bought stuff from, which is very blasphemous, especially if I want to show it off on a camera. But when I figure some of them out, I will add it to the video and text. But this is a Danganronpa V3 one that I love. I mean, I still have the packaging on it, so it's getting blown out. Very obvious that I would have to buy something related to this because it's what I was dressed up as, which is what he's right there. There's something about just the coloring here and the way the expressions all the characters have. It's so incredibly accurate to the game, despite having its own unique chibi style. That's just the personality and look of the game is captured so well in this, and it also has a cute sort of Scooby-Doo thing going on with Shuichi holding a magnifying glass, even though he never does that technically. But it's super adorable. I love it. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Basically anything that I bought, but awesome. Next, I have something completely un-anime related. Is this Psychonauts 2 print, because I played this game this past December, and this is one of the coolest levels in video game history, and this art is amazing. So Psychonauts 2 is a 3D platformer that's about, dream jumping. It's very surrealist and silly, and it's like amazing. And it's one of those things that I was aware of for quite a while, seeing it from some of my friends, just seeing it from other videos. I mean, I grew up playing 3D platformers all the time, so it's like a genre that I was in the know about. But I hadn't played this until last year. Well, obviously the second game came out last year, but I had plenty of chances to play the first one, and I never did. I tried playing it before, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I just like stopped in the middle of it because it's very, very dated. There's a lot of weird things about, the progression and stuff like it. There's a point in the game where like it runs to a halt, and you have to like use a metal detector to find hidden currency for like no reason other than to make it seem like the hub world matters. So that the first game has some hilarious stuff and really creative scenarios, but it does not hold a candle to the second game. And I know I always use it as my basis, but it's like Gravity Falls, or it's even like Owl House, where it's like you think of the first game as the season 1, and then season 2 is the second game, and it's like the first one is like you meet the characters, it's awesome, it's cool, and then the second one they like take it super seriously. It gets really dark, there's mysteries, like it's insane. It's an awesome game. I loved it. And then speaking of awesome games that also technically aren't anime because this is an American game, is this awesome Doki Doki Literature Club print that I had to get because it's so cool. And also, it's so hard for me to decide, but if I had to choose like an actual favorite singular video game ever made, Doki Doki would easily be really close to the top. I don't know if it would be number 1 because it barely counts as a game. The most gamified part of it is making poems and just clicking on words and skipping text. Hard to call it a game, but it's just an awesome experience. It really blew me away because it's that kind of thing everybody was talking about online, and I was like, okay, it can't be that good. And then I played it, and it was like exactly up my alley. And a lot of the themes and everything going on in it are stuff I was like thinking about at the time. It blew me away. It made me feel like I like subconsciously ghost wrote it or something. The amount that I've related to the moral of it. I know it's the kind of game very similar to Danganronpa as well, where people take it so seriously on like the character side, like fighting over which girl's the best and stuff like that. But the game is like literally about why it's ridiculous to do that. It's not like mean-spirited and like making fun of, the sort of fandom culture that fights over fictional characters like that. But the game is like a commentary on people's interaction with fictional media, and I think that that's awesome. And it's sort of captured here in this print. Like the breaking glass thing is awesome. And it even took me until after I bought it to notice that there was corpses in the background, which is spoilers and also violent if you're a child watching this video. Next we have like probably my favorite thing that I bought, even though it's from a show that isn't really close to my top at all, but it's just super cute, is this Toru plush from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, because it's so cute. Look how cute it is, and it's like really big. I'm very surprised by how nice the quality of it is. I'm also very surprised by how I got this for a steal, because I first saw it at one booth. They were selling it for $65, and I was like, I do want that. But $65. I mean, plushes are so expensive no matter what for some reason. But then I saw it at another booth. The guy said it was the last one left, and he said it was only $45. So I was like, okay, yep, I'll get it. The one at the other booth could have been a different style of plush, but I think they were the same. But whether or not, like, this one seemed like it's bigger if it was different. So I do like this one more, and it's so cute. And the studio that makes Dragon Maid, Kyoto Animation, is my favorite studio ever. Like, K-On! And Haruki Suzumiya are two of their shows, and Nichijou, and Chunibyo, and Clannad, and Air and Canon. So what was that, like 7? Those are like 7 shows that they made. That's not even half of the shows they made, and those are all like in my top like 20 pieces of media ever made. So I'm so happy to finally like have a cute plush, official plush too of what they've done. I was looking for some K-On! Merch and did not see any. There might have been keychains if I looked hard enough. But there was a plush of Ritsu in like a dog costume, and it was like kind of ugly. So I didn't want it, but I'm glad I got this as a piece of Kyoto Animation representation. That's how you know I like them. I call them Kyoto Annie. Next we have a water bottle. I don't know. The water bottle in the back. Next we have not anime related, Olimar from Pikmin, which this is like a readily available plush. This has been on like Amazon and stuff. Like this is a new release, but I saw it there and it was so cute and I had to get it. I also carry around a red Pikmin with me usually. I got it at like my first or second packs, a little red Pikmin plushie. So I brought that with me. So Pikmin was on my head, and I was like, yeah, I put it on my head too, over on top of my hat. I should have though. That would have been cute. The Pikmin's a franchise I love, and it's a franchise that doesn't necessarily have much merch like at all, aside from the plushies and a shirt I got at Nintendo store in New York. Is my closet open? Oh, how embarrassing! There was no Louis one though. I know the Louis plush is like a meme, but there was no Louis plush there. I saw one booth with like pretty much every color of Pikmin. I really liked how the white Pikmin plush looked. And they were newer plushes too. Like they were, because they had a red Pikmin one and it was bigger and very different from the little keychain one I have. So I was thinking about getting one of the Pikmin, but I think they were kind of expensive for their size. And then I saw Olimar at a different booth and he wasn't that much. And I was like, okay, I have to get it. I love that game. And then when I bought it, the guy gave it to me by putting it on my lanyard instead of putting it in my head. Speaking of Pikmin, here's another super niche thing. From PAX East, I had Chugga Conroy sign my copy of Pikmin 3 because he is who made me get into these games, and he's the best. He's so positive. He's a great guy. I love watching him. And I also had him sign my copy of Kid Icarus, which he made me love. Like, Kid Icarus was already a game I loved, but now I love it more because of him. And also, completely unrelated, actually, like a few years ago, Arlo signed my copy of Smash Bros. I'm just showing off now, I guess. Also, I have this Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton like pre-order like promotional advertisement card that was being sold for like $1 at PAX this year. I think it's really cool. Next, I have my Monokuma wallet, which is just my wallet. I bought this at an anime store in Boston, but like a year ago. Then we have, I keep forgetting I got this, more Nintendo. It's this awesome Kirby Planetarium. These are all so cool. There's like, they're not a blind box, which is good. On the side of the box, they show sort of all the ones. I got this Nightmare one because it looks super awesome. And Nightmare Dreamland was the first video game I ever played. So I felt like it was very fitting to get this one. But I was very in love with they must have not had that. There's an Air Ride one on this side. They must have not had that. I would have been very tempted to get that one too. That's so cool. It has the little icons and stuff. I had no idea that existed. Oh, that black and white one too. They definitely didn't have that. But they did have this Magloire one, which I was tempted by as well because I think it's really cool to have some merch of like some of the side Kirby characters. I have a Magloire and Tyranza plush up on my shelf. I mean, I can't wait until they make some Forgotten Land stuff, especially if they do some of that Endgame stuff. Yeah, this is super awesome. I'll definitely put it on my desk. Probably like even here so like it shows up in videos. Except you can't. My camera's set up so you can't see that, so I'm lying. Oh, there is a Star Allies one on here too. Cool. They just announced like a new set of these or something that had even more awesome ones that I have to fight myself over. Next we have, biggest thing in this box is I'm gonna like say it so weird because it's so hard to say his name. This Jushimatsu figurine, which was awesome. There was like a handful of Osamatsu-san stuff around. I do have another one in my bag somewhere, hopefully, unless I lost it somewhere. But this was pretty cheap, and I just thought it like the actual figure looks super cool for the price it was. They only had 3 of them available, but if you're unfamiliar with this show, this is a comedy that is a sequel to like an old kids show. But instead of making the sequel as lighthearted as the kids show, it's about how all these characters grew up to be complete failures, and it does like insane random parodies and just insane raunchy humor all the time. It's freaking awesome. It has such a cool art style. I don't think I have a favorite character from it. Jushimatsu could be like kind of annoying sometimes, so I don't really know if he's actually my favorite character in it, because he's very nonsensical to a point where it's like sometimes I would rather like him just shut the hell up and like make an actual joke. But I mean, I still love them all. Oh, looking at the side, the Karumatsu one, which is this guy right here, the cool dude, that would have been awesome. But they only had the Ichimatsu, which is right here. They only had the Ichimatsu, this Jushimatsu, and then Chorumatsu. And Chorumatsu was like on sale for some reason. So I guess everyone hates him, which I guess that's canon to the show itself. But everyone hates all of them. Probably, like, who's hated the most of the show? It's probably Osamatsu, even though he's the protagonist, technically. Then I do have another Artist Alley thing. My last Artist Alley thing is this Sakura holographic print from Zombieland Saga, which is another one of my favorite shows because it's so hilarious but it's also incredibly heartwarming and like has a lore that you wouldn't expect. Like it, and the way it conveys its lore, the second season goes like all in. It has like this sudden flashback episode that's really cool. But there's like, sad aspects of the lore that I can't spoil that they show off within like maybe 30 seconds of the show. Like they just do like a 30-second visual thing in the show to convey one of the biggest lore reveals in it. And it's so cool. Like it's so sad and clever. And the way that they convey it without having direct like dialogue about it, it's just like a really short scene. In both seasons they refer to it. It's so awesome. And this art is adorable. And I did find the artist who made this on Instagram, so I'll put the name on screen. But this is so cool. She had all the girls done, but I felt like Sakura just made the most sense because she's the main character. She's probably my favorite too. She's the peppiest, and I like my optimistically peppy characters. Yeah, I think this is so awesome. Then I have some very small things in here. There was a handful of maybe like 2 or 3 booths that had these really tiny character charm keychains, and I like am obsessed with them. And I would have bought so many if I wasn't trying to have self-control. So I did buy this one. It's gonna be kind of hard to see. He's very small. There we go. This is, I was gonna say Karamatsu. No, that's Osamatsu-san. This is Kurokuma. There we go. From Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, which I thought was super awesome. That there was merch of him. I did not know Ultra Despair Girls had like any merch at all. So it's really cool, even if it's so tiny, that they had him. And they also had like 2 of the enemies from this game. And as really bizarre and out there as the plot of this game is, it has like, I know V3 has such a cool art style, but Ultra Despair Girls has like a vibe to it that like is kind of untouched in its own way too. But I do think I like the way V3 looks more. And obviously this game has like, CG graphics that I'm sure are like kind of, focus please, I'm sure are like, they're pretty dated, they're kind of cringe, but still just like the base 2D look of it and like the UI is so stylish, and I love it. And I love this character because he like who came up with, he's so annoying. Like he sucks. Like that he sucks as a character, but like that makes him hilarious. I think there was a Shirokuma one too. I really should have got both of them, but I like him more. Shirokuma's more annoying than him. Shirokuma might be like one of my least favorite characters in the franchise. Then we have, I think, my only official piece of Ace Attorney merchandise until like the new figures come out that I have pre-ordered. This is a little figure of Maya Fey from Ace Attorney, who is one of the best characters in all of fiction. She's adorable. And the dealer for her was saying that she sold a lot of these Maya ones that day. So Ace Attorney's definitely gotten very popular all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because of Danganronpa, like people are realizing how cool mystery games are, or if like, I don't know, because Game Grumps played Ace Attorney or something, but I mean, Ace Attorney deserves to be popular, and it was always popular, but I'm definitely seeing a resurgence of art for it and stuff, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad that people care so much. They did have like all the characters, but again, I had to have self-control and just got Maya because she's my favorite, but it would have been really cool to have more. I think they had Franziska, Edgeworth, Phoenix, and like a Steel Samurai one. And I think all of those except the Steel Samurai one had a little objection bubbles too, because they were in a pointing pose. Those were pretty cool, but I didn't get one. Then we have this tiny Haruhi Suzumiya, which again, they had all the characters from the show, but I only got her because I thought this was cute. And this also, did I even say this show when I was talking about Kyoto Animation? I think I did. I hope I did. This is my actual favorite anime ever made. I reviewed it on my channel like as one of my first videos. It's probably not that good of a review, but I am like head over heels for this show. It has just such an interesting story. It's so funny and it's so weird in like my favorite kinds of ways. And it's about, aliens and time travel, and it taught me what an Esper is. So it's one of the best ever made. This is a post recording because I forgot this was in my backpack. Another piece of Kyoto Animation representation I bought is this Haruhi Suzumiya art book, the summer and spring themed art book. This is another thing that's like available. Like I feel like I've even seen this at like Barnes and Noble, but it was there. It was like one of the first things I saw when walking into the dealer room, and I was like, well, that's my favorite show, so I have to get it. The print quality of the cover looks so nice that I almost just want to keep it in the seal that it has. It's really cool. I just think the art style on the show is so cute, and there's bound to be pieces of artwork in here that like I've never seen before, because shows like this that like I guess get these art books in Japan or something, like every once in a while I'll just see a tweet that or a Tumblr post that shows off like Kyoto Animation artwork that looks amazing that I have never seen before. And this show in particular, this show and K-On! Have like some really awesome like I don't know if it's just promotional pictures or what, but they just have really awesome little pieces of artwork. So I'm sure a lot of that will be in here. Also, there's a postcard I got from the artist that I bought my Zombieland Saga print from. And then this is the ballad for, or I guess the program list for the AMV contest, which I just wanted to bring up because watching the AMV contest was like the coolest like thing in the entire world. Because I am a big AMV fan. I don't make them that often, but after watching this, I was like so inspired. I'm definitely gonna start pumping some out because it's just so cool. It's just such a cool creative exercise, and people do such cool effects and like the way they set things to music. It blows me away whenever I get to watch a good one. And literally every single one of these like 30 that they showed was amazing. So I love that. And if I go to some other conventions where they do that, I'm that's like the first thing I'm gonna try to see. They actually did do 2 AMV contests because they did like a catch-up one for the few years that they didn't have conventions. And I regret not going to the other ones, but I only went to the big main one. And then this is just the, like informational little booklet pamphlet that they have. I'm watching this show right now. All right, next we have, I keep forgetting about this. This was the first thing I bought there, I think, Ace Attorney related as well. This was from Artist Alley with these awesome Ace Attorney pins that are very stylized. I guess, I don't know, is it like minimalist or something? This style that you see, like, somebody makes fan art like this of at least like every anime character ever, or like they remove their facial details and outline and just get like this cool sort of color palette look to them. So this is just a handful of some art like that of a lot of the main characters, and it's super awesome. I'll definitely put this on my backpack and lanyards and stuff for future conventions to show that I'm a fan of this game. Oh, I love that Apollo one. I just saw that. I need to definitely look at these in better detail. But once I saw them on display, I was like, yeah, I gotta get an Ace Attorney thing. So now I have... Oh, the artists are on the back too. Good. So now I have a piece of official Ace Attorney merchandise and this awesome piece of fan art. Oh, there's another Artist Alley poster in here that I forgot about too. Why did I buy so much stuff? But also Matsu-san related is this little blind box. This was kind of cheap. I was considering even getting 2 because it's a blind box, and that's how they get you. But it's really cute. It's a very unique art style to it, and they have you build it yourself very easily, and they have 2 facial expressions on them. And that's what it says on the back here. Like a Lego where you spin their face and you can choose a certain expression that you want. For this one, I got the Osomatsu-san one, so that's fitting. What character would I have wanted? I don't know, because they all look very similar. Like Ichimatsu's kind of the only one who actually has a different hair, which I guess is also the case like in the show. So he's definitely the most unique looking one, so that probably would have been cool to have. But I mean, it's awesome to have any of them. But if I bought 2 and then like got 2 of the same, that would have been annoying. But technically you could just tell anyone who's unfamiliar with the show that they're different characters. That's how the original version of the show worked anyways. And then I have another sort of blind box. This is a Love Live keychain from a gacha machine, which is, you can tell the ball capsule toy machines that are a very adorable frequent thing in Japan. And I think it's super novel to use them. A lot of a mall near me has them. A game store near me has them. Like, a lot of people are interested in like importing these now, and I think that it's awesome because these are so cute. The problem is just the price is kind of high, and I don't know if that's because the price is high also in Japan, or if it's because it's like a novelty import thing that stores have to like make it weirdly expensive to use one. But it's still awesome, and definitely the machines at Anime Boston had stuff I had never seen before elsewhere. Because usually it's just like, Demon Slayer or Hero Academia or like Hello Kitty, but here they had some idol shows, which I love because of their painful positivity. And I was just watching Love Live series 1. I just have to watch the movie now. I finished season 2 the other day, and I was blessed by getting Nico, who is now my favorite character. I watched Love Live when I was younger. It was one of my first animes because it's so happy. I love my painfully happy shows. I think I liked Hayano a lot when I was younger because she's like adorable. But when you grow up, you realize like how funny Nico is. She's so pathetic and obsessive and bitter. Like, it's hilarious because I feel like there's parts of me that are like that too. I really like her now. And also, she sort of has the same exact name as me. I probably should have shown this up front. Our last piece of Artist Alley thing, because I only have one other thing to show after this, is this Makoto from... I almost said Ace Attorney. What's wrong with me? This Makoto from Persona 5. That looks so cool. she's so pretty. This artist had the whole cast with art like this, and I like wanted all of them because they're so awesome. But Makoto is my favorite character from that game because I love her personality. So, and when I say it like that, it sounds very obvious. The other reason why I like her, but shut up. I don't like talking about stuff like that. But she's like she's one of my fictional crushes. Okay, there you have me say it. But this is so awesome. I love when people do like very realistic art of anime characters, especially if they could do a very cool thing with it, like this with the shattering mask, which is what the artist did for the other characters as well. It looks so cool. And again, I would have gotten like the whole pack of them if I had the money and also room to put stuff. Like I don't know, where am I gonna put this? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out because I like this one. The thing about Makoto though, as great of a character as she is and as adorable as she is, I didn't really like using her in the game that much. When you play Persona, you just do the weakness stuff. But I feel like Nuclear wasn't used too often. Like I feel like she wasn't that good, but I just used her a lot because she was my favorite. I believe the final thing I have is also the most expensive thing I have. And the price tag's still on it. I'm going to take that off because I'm embarrassed. Here we have a scale figure of Hajime from Danganronpa 2. This was over $200. Under $300, but over $200. What when you're into anime figure collecting, that's kind of the price you have to be willing to pay for some stuff. And this is definitely the actual most expensive figure that I've bought so far. We'll go up. I was considering buying one that was close to 400 there, but I settled on this one because it was cheaper and also it was closer to my interests. I was interested in a Kaguya-sama Love is War one that was like $350 or something, maybe even $399. If you're into anime figure collecting, you can guess which one it was based on the price of that. But I settled on this one because it would be less embarrassing and because it's much more related to something that I love. But I love Kaguya-sama as well, which I have a review for on my channel somewhere. I have to take this out of the box to truly see how awesome it is, but just looking through it, it's awesome. The first thing I noticed, because they make the face clear on the box, is that they got the design in his eyes, the weird like no symbol that's in his eyes, and I think that is awesome. But also just this packaging is cool because it's got the character art on the side too. Because this was so expensive, I don't know if I should even take it out of the box, but I kind of have to. There's a Nagito Komade one. Komade? How do you say it again? He's the most popular character. I don't know how to say his name. There's a Nagito one that's like the reverse, where he's leaning in the. I think he's leaning in the other direction, and it's like a companion piece to this one. And of course, the booth had both of them, but I only bought this one. Somebody else could have the Nagito one because I'm sure somebody really wants it. And Hajime is awesome. He, for spoiler reasons, I can't talk more about why I like him. He has a very relatable circumstance. The ways in which he feels inadequate compared to the people around him is very relatable, which is very depressing, but I said it with a happy tone, so it's not depressing. And his base plate has like the design of the court trial room. What's it called? And it's a very bright pink. It's really cool. I'll definitely probably even just have to make an unboxing video of this figure. But yeah, I am very, very happy with this purchase. This is a re-release of this figure because it has the 10th anniversary logo on it and a price tag that I very poorly ripped off. Yeah, this is one I see a lot of Danganronpa fans own these ones. So I think the price was raised just because it's kind of older. I mean, the anniversary was last year. So this was released last year, but this is it was still probably an aftermarket price for this. Also, speaking of this, I meant to mention that too. At a comic book store, very unrelated to Anime Boston, they had a Shuichi Saihara figure and a Kokichi Oma figure available, and I was shocked because it's a comic store that I regular because it's sort of a chain in this area. And they had those two Danganronpa V3 figures, and I was like, where the heck did they get these? It's such a random thing to have because it's not a localized product. They imported that themselves and were selling them. And I was like, why? But oh my god, I'm gonna dress as Shuichi. I have to buy that. And then I looked at the price and I put it back on the shelf. And then I looked on AmiAmi and it was cheaper, so I'm gonna get it later. I have to get those two before they become even more expensive. Like this one. Again, I don't know what the normal price for this one really was supposed to be, but I feel like I paid a little more for it, but I was willing to buy at least one very premium priced figure. So I went for this one because I love it. I was really looking forward to finding like a Haruhi Suzumiya figure or like the Alien 9 figures. Like there's a lot of obscure stuff I was hoping to see, but there really wasn't much in the way of like the early 2000s kind of obscure stuff that I like. So this was my choice for a premium thing for sure. Not that that older stuff would have even been premium, but like my heart would have dropped if I just saw like a K-Odd figure and stuff. I think honestly the most obscure thing I saw at Anime Boston was actually a cosplayer who was dressed as the main character Amu from Shogokara, which is a early 2000s magical girl show that I really like because it's very funny. Magical girl shows are really funny. Not that I've only watched 3, one of which is a horror show, which is Madoka Magica, so that doesn't count. So the 2 that I've watched, Onegai, My Melody, and Shogokara, sometimes have the most insane plots ever. It's really funny. But Shogokara had like really great character progression too. That was a super fun, nice like vintage feeling show. I loved that show. And somebody was dressed as Amu, so I ran down an escalator to go get a picture of her before she went somewhere else because I was so excited to see somebody dressed up as that. It'd be really because that show has a lot of characters. It's very cosplayable. All the characters have like little fairies. I really love how the design of the. I love the design of all of Amu's fairies, but I like the artist one. I could be okay with dressing up as her. The maid one's cute too, but I don't know if I would wear that. But I've been thinking about costumes. I wanted to be Hajime from Danganronpa and Joker from Persona 5 in the past. And now, now that I'm comfortable dressing up, I should probably do that. But I think Shuichi is a much cooler costume than Hajime because Hajime just like wears a shirt. So I don't know if I'll do that. I also probably next year guaranteed, or like whatever con I end up going to next, I'll be Junpei from Zero Escape, even though like maybe at least one person would recognize me, hopefully. That's a very obscure horror visual novel game that I am obsessed with that you should play, as well as Somnium Files. And then yeah, just like a more obscure character or like, like a male version of like a K-On cast member, or even just Kyon from Haruhi, or like a male version of Haruhi or something like that. I think would be really cool to try out. And when I say male version, I just mean like Haruhi with pants. So that's what I would do. I don't really want to wear a skirt. There were some Iwatobi Swim Club figures that I think my sister bought one of them. She was cosplaying from that show. And I love that show too. So I'm glad that like she was a surrogate for me to own a free figure. The show is called free. The figure was not free. But this will go great because I just recently I have a Chiaki Nanami figure as well. So I can put this right next to it. And then, I don't know, maybe I could order the Agito one online and we could get a really nice shelf of like the awesome Danganronpa figures that are easy to get, because there aren't that many of them. But there's like a Toko one. I have the Junko Pop-Up Parade. I have this. I made a video. I have a TikTok I have to post about this Monokuma Funko Pop. That's pretty awesome. That I bought for $15 that some dealers were selling for like $60, $50 at the convention. I love Danganronpa. I gotta get more stuff of it. But there we go. That's my haul. I talked for way too long, but that was my intent because I really love talking about anime. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if you did, because I'd love to do more videos like this because I'm buying. It's not garbage. Okay, it's not garbage because it makes me happy. Okay, I buy a ton of stuff like this all the time, so I'd be really happy to make more vloggy style videos like this to talk about it, and just like more casual videos to talk about stuff that I've been watching too. It's definitely a plan of mine to get into the habit of making more videos like this where I just sit in front of a camera and keep looking at myself in the monitor instead of directly at the camera, so it looks like I'm looking to the side. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know like if you recognize any of the stuff I was talking about. I mean, you gotta know what Doki Doki Literature Club is, right? But yeah, I just hope you learned a little more about me. It was a great excuse for me to talk about the stuff I love and how much fun I had at the convention, and I cannot wait to go back, and I cannot wait to like start looking for other conventions to go to too, because compared to PAX East, that was a convention. That's what I've been hearing so much about all this time, and it was so much fun, and I loved the atmosphere, and it was great. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments with some further discussion, because I'd be happy to continue talking about this nonsense. And thank you very much for watching. I'm moving it like it's supposed to be talking. Hang on, can I get out of the... What's her dub voice? I'm very bad at voice acting. What's her dub voice?
Kobayashi, I love you.
Oh, that was embarrassing as I'm out of here. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please hit the like button so more viewers like you can find this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel with notifications on to see my future content, and follow me on other sites like TikTok and Twitter for special exclusives. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.